Power 106, LA's #1 for hip hop. I'm Letty right here on the all new Power Mornings. My guy Javen right here with me, and we have a guest on the show. Yeah, our guy Poo Bear, writer, artist yourself. And what we're learning is since you were a kid, you've been putting together groups. You've been telling this off air.
Yeah, happy birthday to everybody. Thanks for
having me. Happy birthday to everybody. You said everybody's birthday should be an everyday thing.
Yeah, don't get excited. Don't wait a whole year to be excited.
Yeah.
Be happy, be blessed that you wake up every day.
All right, we're talking about it, Poo Bear. You are from Connecticut.
Yeah, New Haven. When I say most people think of like glitz and glamour and like Oprah Winfrey. Yeah, but New Haven is like Detroit. Like it's like the poorest city in America at one time. Yeah, we it was tough. We got out of there by way of a tornado. Thanks, big up to God. You know what I mean? With the natural disasters.
Showed you the sign.
Exactly. So most things in my life that were negative, some positive came out of it. So that being homeless for a while. The church took up an offering, and for once it was, they gave it to my mom, and we were able to, right, and not to the Bentley or the jet fund for the pastor. But then, we moved to Atlanta, Georgia, and started over. Struggled there, but it was such a amazing energy in Atlanta. It was like the new New York of the South. Mm-hmm. Everybody, Another Bad Creation, Crisscross. All these kids groups were coming out and they were successful. So for me, it was like a great example in real time. Yeah, I could do that, and I'm 11. So I ended up putting together a kids group. I was in a group called Young Harmony. My friend's name was Young, and I was Harmony. Yeah, right. And then I used to rap. Actually, I couldn't sing. So I used to rap and engineer, and
but you were the Harmony.
Right, and that's even ironic. That's irony within itself. You need more than one note to harmonize. So I don't know how I was harmony, but we ended up getting a record deal when we were 12. Got ripped off the whole thing, but I learned how to work and just be in the studio nonstop and get a lot of whackness out of my system, like a bunch of garbage songs.
Now, Poo Bear, you went from doing these groups and clearly being inspired to putting your pen to paper and really writing, not just for yourself, but for others. You have Usher under your belt, Justin Bieber, we know you really well for, Chris Brown as well. How did that part come?
Let's go back. Part. My cousin, Big Bear, discovered a group called 112. And
and hold on. Okay. Yeah. There's one group called 112.
I'm going to be honest, he discovered two groups at one talent show, 112 and Jagged Edge. And he ended up managing 112, and Jagged Edge went to Jermaine Dupri.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and then he was like, they went to New York, and I saw them go from a group called Forte to 112. And just seeing like regular people transition into celebrity superstars was like, this is mind blowing. Like, this can happen to anybody if it's meant for you. So my cousin was like, look, I'm gonna put you in the studio with him. If you guys have chemistry, then whatever happens. And he put me in the studio with 112 when I was 16. And the first thing I wrote with Duran was a song called Anywhere. We Could Do It Anywhere.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up, bro.
Yeah, that was my first. Yeah.
No way. Wait, what part, bro?
I wrote the song with Duran. We did the
song, the part you like, your favorite part. I wrote that one.
Duran had already. Duran had a lot of the hook, and we did the verses together with Quintus, with Q Parker, and at the same session I did a song for Pink. Can't Take Me Home. Called Love Is Such a Crazy Thing, and that was on her album in 1998. So that first session it ended up being really good, and then I ended up working with 112 to do Peaches and Cream, Dance With Me. I did a lot of their records.
Right.
So you said you got in there, and it was under the understanding like, hey, if there's a chemistry and some rapport there,
then it would just organically turn into a relationship. Because if you go in the studio with somebody and you inspire each other, or you come up with a great record, it's like, yo, we should work more.
Yeah. What does that look like in terms of like being a writer? Because I know you would think like artists get in there, y'all both just start singing back and forth. But in terms of creating the song and the lyrics, what does chemistry look like?
The chemistry is when you can go in the studio and there's somebody's playing chords, or we're talking, or there's an idea, concept, and from that concept, you're able to create a song and create a hook around that concept, and then create verses that support that concept. And the chemistry all along is, if I throw out something, it might inspire you to throw out something. If somebody comes up with something, and we're all collective minds having these hybrid thoughts together, and it turns into a song. And sometimes it's different with artists. Sometimes the artist aren't really hands-on. With 112, they were Deron Jones and Q, and they played a real integral part of the creative process. So they saw our chemistry. We're like, yo, let's go in the studio again. And then I ended up on that album on Room 112. I did like 7 songs on Room 112.
Shut
and
up!
Then
I
part
love
3
that album.
Was like I was carrying bags for them. I was like 18, and I went to school. I never really skipped. Man, they were like, one day they're like, hey, you're not gonna practice with graduation because you're not walking. I'm like, why? Whoa. And they're like, you have 3 classes from the 9th grade that you didn't do. And I'm like, well, why didn't you guys assign them to me?
In 10th grade.
Right.
It was like, it was human error. And I was like, well, I went to summer school in 11th grade and made up classes that I didn't know I had.
Take before.
Right.
Why you didn't tell me then? It was like human error. So I was like, Mom, do you feel like I graduated? She was like, absolutely. And I was like, that's, because I was only going to school. Mind you, I had a song on the radio anywhere. It was a hit, you know what I mean?
What time was that? Like, what age were you when that
17.
was already? And you're writing for 112
grade.
all of
and
that.
I ain't tell anybody.
You popping. Like,
yeah, my teacher would be like, all the time, my teacher would be like, Jason Boyd, you need to pay attention to class because only 1% making it in the music industry and you're not that 1%. And I wanted to say, if you turn the radio right now,
I'm there already.
Every hour on an hour, anywhere was playing. But I was, I'm a Virgo,
Humble
so I was
kid.
like, I'm like, all right, you got it. You know what I'm saying?
Did it feel like you had made it at that time already?
No, I don't feel like I made it right now.
Okay. Well, talk to him.
Yeah,
Well, speaking of right now,
I feel like that.
You have written for so many people, and it's time to put like your artist at the forefront. You as an artist at the forefront. When we checked out the music video you dropped last Friday, and it is so beautifully put together.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
You have to have some kind of confidence to say, you know what? I want to go from behind the scenes to just really being on, like the person that's executing these things that I'm writing.
Yeah.
What got you to that part of it?
I've always dropped music for fun, just getting it off my chest. And then recently, I partnered up with my friend and brother Nabeel, hence the Book of Nabeel, who's a poet. And for me, I never really imagined myself writing with a poet before, but it was something new. And when I went in and worked with him, it showed so much growth. He was like, you know what, man? I really want this music to come out. And I'm like, it's just going to go to the music abyss, what I call it, and just make it to just go into a cloud.
Right.
And he was like, nah, I want the world to hear this music. So I've always put out music, but just partnering up with Nabeel, doing the Book of Nabeel, and, partnering with him, he has like a vision and he kind of like pushing me and like, yo, you should really do this.
Right.
I believe in you. I don't care what, whatever it is, whatever people think or say, I don't care. I believe in the music and I just want the people to hear the music. And I've always done it, but like this is the first time I'm really, really singing. Like I did Poo Bear Presents with like all my superstar friends.
Yeah.
And I sang on
Kinda
maybe
like
3 or 4
compilation,
records.
right,
It was a
but-
compilation record. So this is like, I have no features on this album.
It's you.
And I'm just singing, but it shows a lot of growth and I'm ready, like, physically, mentally, I'm like in the best shape of my life, and it's just fun. And I'm doing music that I love, and I really want the world to hear it and hope they can resonate with it.
That's dope. So, being that you wrote for so many like icons, legends, and now you're transitioning to putting your own music out, your own sound and stuff like that. How do you handle a fan that hears your music and then equate your style that you gave to somebody else to the person that
It's a great question.
that you gave it to?
That's great. Because I hear that all the time. Like people are like, yo, you sound like Justin Bieber. And I'm like, oh man. And I'm like, just do a little history, but at the same time, it comes along with it. Like I knew that eventually, I wasn't ever gonna stop putting out music, and that people are gonna get. I didn't know I was gonna have as much success as I did with Justin. I didn't know how that was gonna turn out back when I met him in 2013. But after giving him so much and doing so much, it was like, all right, I still have to be able to separate myself and put out music. But there are those people who are like, yo, you sound just like Justin Bieber. Man, it's just layers to it because when you really, if they care and they research, then they can go back to my history and see I've been writing songs since I was, successfully since I was 17. So Justin was a major part of my my writing career and my producing career. But I still feel like it's cool for people to hear it and just kind of dig in. If they care to dig in, and be like, oh, wait a minute, he doesn't sound like Justin Bieber. It's
Meet
the other
source.
way around.
Come on now.
So it's great. Like I used to feel weird about that, and I used to question whether I should even put out music just like if it was gonna step on
That
Justin's
comparison,
toes.
yeah.
Because I'm like, well, I don't want to do that. But then Justin encourages me. It's like, no, bro, you got to put out music, or he'll post whatever, and like, this is my favorite song.
That's dope.
So when I got that support from him, and then we came out with Hard to Face Reality, I'm on a song called Angel Speak on Justice featured. I was like, wow, well, if you're cool with it and it's not weird to you, I'm like, I'm just gonna go for it with it.
Yeah,
and
it's the green light.
He's Justin Bieber, man. So it's like, he's an icon. It's a blessing to work with him, and for people to be like, yo, I sound like him. I get it. Right. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to, for somebody to even grasp that.
Man.
You know, we see with Bad Bunny right now, we see like the on top of the worldness that is that Spanish music, right?
Yeah.
Whether it's Latin trap or reggaeton, the mix of both, the pop influence and all of that.
Yeah.
Despacito, the remix was pivotal. It's major in the ascension, right?
I think it played a major.
Super.
I mean, it just knocked down the doors. Before that, you would never hear a Latin record on mainstream radio.
Despacito
it's like,
did a
what?
lot.
Yeah, so I'm talking about from Australia to India to the UK, where there's not even any Latin people. It's just, so I feel like it knocked down the doors. It opened it up, and it showed, and that was a goal. I didn't know how I was gonna do it. I remember in 2014 telling my attorney, like, yo, I really want to work with reggaeton artists. Like,
Wow.
I just feel like this strong urge to mesh, my melodies and frequencies with reggaeton. And Scooter introduced me to Jose, to J Balvin.
Sheesh.
Went to Colombia in 2015, and stayed with him at his house for a week, and we worked on Energia on that project. Came out, it was successful. Then, Despacito came up randomly because Justin was in Bogota and heard it in the club and was like, yo, I want to remix that.
No way.
Yeah, and the Scooter was like, hey man, can you do an English version of Despacito? And I was
Got
like,
to work.
I just started. I went in on April 10th at like midnight, 11:59 on April 10th, 2017, and I started Googling it because I'm like, what is
Like the
this saying?
translation, what's the concept of this song?
And then when I was translating, I was like, I'm a songwriter, so I need to see complete thoughts.
Yes.
And it was like fragmented.
Yeah.
It was like slowly, and I'm like, let me try to make sense of this, what I think this means to me, and that's where it was like, come and move that in my direction.
Right.
It was like everything was, I'm like, let me try to embody what I think they're saying.
Right.
But it was definitely one of those records where I was like, I don't really know what I'm doing. And then it ended up being, my biggest.
That's
amazing.
wild, Pooh Bear. And then literal translation sometimes of Spanish to English is very different.
It's
like
different,
it's not gonna hit the
it's
same.
not cool.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's why I'll go to
Right.
Colombia
Yeah.
now, and it'll be somebody's translating my song, and it's one guy named Henyo. Shout out to Henyo. That's he's genius. But outside of Henyo, it's like a 3-4 hour deal. For me, if I'm creating and I'm in a moment, I've created hit records in 30 minutes,
Yeah.
35.
That's so nice.
Damn.
No, but if it's meant, when something's written already,
Right.
you're just finding it, you're just remembering it,
Discovering it.
because all our lives are written. So that's how you can go to a psychic reader, and they can read you.
Wow.
Because our lives are all written. So just the songs are already written already. I'm just finding them and remembering what I wrote before.
Pooh Bear.
Wow. This guy's deep. He's deep. I see why you get the big bucks.
Oh, man.
Man,
No,
Book of
but-
Nabeel is the album.
Yeah, Book of Nabeel. Yeah.
And I think that you do have, like, there's that divinity that you can actually, like you said, grab stuff, put it into song, knowing that it's there already.
Yeah.
What can we expect from this project?
Well, the Book of Nabeel is really special because Nabeel, who didn't even want his name to be used in
You
the
put it
title,
right in the forefront.
I'm like, look, bro, these are poems that I've taken. I've never done this before, where somebody's giving me poems, and I'm like, yo, let me put melodies and let me put a hook to this, and this is so, for me, it just showed growth as a lyricist because those half the words I'm singing, I'm learning what they are as I'm like, yo, what does that mean? As I'm singing them, like, what am I saying? And I'm being educated, and then for me, I never want to stop growing. So the Book of Nabeel it's just a growth. Like, it shows a big growth for me lyrically, melodically. It's very cohesive, and the music is not. I can't really say that it's urban. It's like it's world music.
Yeah.
It's world. It's really like it's not really in a specific genre. So, and then it's something I've never done before. I've never really collabed with a poet and taken words and put melodies to them. So the Book of Nabeel is like, it's really special, and it's a book of poems that came from Nabeel, from real experiences, and I combine my real experiences with those poems. And it's just, for me, it's a beautiful work of art. It's a masterpiece in my mind, lyrically, melodically, conceptually, sonically. When I listen to, I'm like a super critic. I'm my worst critic, so I'm like always trying to hate on myself every chance I get.
No.
Hence, I'm blending in with the mic. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, but that's me. But the Book of Nabeel, for me, I'm really proud of it. It's a project we worked on over time. It was supposed to come out before, and we had a couple hiccups, and now, but at the same time, everything's written the way it's supposed to be. So I'm excited for the world to hear the Book of Nabeel.
With all of the artists that you've been able to work with and get success from,
Yeah.
how do you gauge success for yourself in your own body of work? Is it you chasing, I got to do a Justin Bieber hit?
Nah,
Or what is it?
It's honestly just like, even if I reach 100,000 people, whatever it is, like really seeing the engagement and seeing that people like are really emotionally affected by it, and it's like you can't really quantify, because you got records that came out in 2011, like Latch by Disclosure, that became radio hits in 2016.
Yeah.
So it's like, how do you really gauge what it is if like these songs come out, as long as they're timeless and they're not connected to an era sonically, musically, where it's like, oh, that sounds like the late 2000s, or
and there's no
it's nothing
time limit
there's
on
no
it
time limit
at
on
all.
it. So it's like, that's the greatest thing about the book of Nabeel, is not locked into a specific era of time. So it could have came out 10 years ago, and it could come out 10 years from now.
Is that how you help determine just a hit with all of the changes in music and the platform and what goes on? Like, and you have written hits yourself.
Yeah.
What is a hit today?
A hit today, it's something that's timeless. It's absolutely something that everybody can relate to, and even if you're speaking of it, even if the idea means something to you, it might resonate, and it might mean something totally different to them. And just being able to just to see that and see people respond and people hear it and see the growth in streaming. By the way, guys, I miss radio. I was just talking to Carrie about them. Everybody kind of just went strictly all right, forget, let's just stream.
Right.
And I'm like, I want to go back to the 90s. I really just feel like if you're on the radio, you're special.
It's that connection. Yeah.
It is, and it's like you have a million songs being released on these DSPs every week. What really makes them special? Right. If you can make it somewhere on a slot in the radio, me, it's like when I hear somebody on radio, I'm like, oh, they did it. They made it. So I just want to say, I miss radio. I love you. I love radio.
We love you back, bro. You're special.
I'm just saying,
special.
and I want people to understand the importance of it.
It's like the first curated playlist. It's radio. It's
absolutely
curation.
There is. I still feel like without radio, there aren't any stars.
No.
Wow.
There's no stars. And I just feel like the streaming it's cool, it's great, it's there. But my love, I just was telling, I was like, yo, I really want to do radio events back in the night. Remember we used to go to the strip club, go to the clubs.
Say less, come
Remember?
on, tomorrow. My cousin's party.
That's what I'm saying.
Come on, let's go through.
Exactly. Just let me know what y'all want to do. I'm trying to take it back.
Okay, maybe not that bad. Are you going full on
No. It
butterfly,
could be whatever.
that?
We don't got to go there.
Can't be a part of that.
Just
more so, just the appreciation of radio.
Right.
I just feel like everybody's put all their eggs into streams, and there's no hating on streaming, guys. I don't want them to feel like I'm hating on them. I just feel like radio's it's a difference. It's just way more important.
No,
the trick of it is, we don't need anybody. We just drop your music over here, but then they're making everything off of that. You know what I mean? So for here, it's a real commercial for artists to be able to say, hey, I got this project out. Then clubs and different people could say, oh, let's book you from this. They're not looking at your streams, but we should have him do a walkthrough tonight.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to say that I appreciate radio, and I just feel like the love for radio has gone down a bit since streams, and I was trying to bring it back.
Come on,
I love that, Poo Bear. You understand it, and that makes it so much more easier for us to highlight somebody like you. Because you literally, since you were 17, you've seen the hits come, you've seen the trends come and go, and you still here, bro.
Thank you. Thanks for playing my music since I was 17.
Right. We didn't have a choice.
Is there a song that because we're running through songs like Anywhere. We're going to like the Despacitos of the world and the stuff you did with Usher.
Yeah.
What is there one that hits different for you?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. The one that hits really different for me is Where Are You Now with Justin Bieber and Skrillex and Jack U.
Why?
Just because at that time, everybody, like before there was cancel culture, everybody canceled Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
He was the first one to get canceled back in 2013. And he was 17. And it was like, yo, he's a kid and he's just doing all this stuff because he's a kid and he's wealthy. But you guys would be way worse if a camera was following you every day of your life. So when they canceled him, everybody was like, yo, why are you still working with him? And I'm
Really?
like, bro, I'm like, he's my little brother, first of all, and he's not done. Like, he's growing up. It was just the world is seeing him evolve, growing up, so it's difficult for people to not point fingers. You know what I'm saying? So
the process.
yeah. So Where Are You Now? When they came out, everybody had canceled Justin. Like everybody, the media, even though they were using him because they know as long as they said his name, they would get more views and more audience.
Yep.
So Where Are You Now was a record that was his comeback record, and for me, it was like everybody that was like, yo, you shouldn't put all your eggs in Justin Bieber. He's done. Everybody was like, he's done. He's over. Here comes Where Are You Now? And it was a weird song just because I told Justin, I was like, yo, don't tell anybody that I did this record because I don't want anybody to hate on it.
Yeah.
Because I'm a black guy. You know what I'm saying? And I got a lot of flack and a lot of hatred because I got in his life and the people were just like, why is this big black guy? Why or how? Right. So I was like, so on this one, Justin, don't tell anybody.
Under the
so
radar.
It was like the Trojan horse type thing when it came out and then it started connecting.
Yep.
And then it was like, he's like, should I tell? I was like, now you can tell because they can't stop it now. Man. So that record for me was my turning point in my career. I think it was a turning point. It won Justin his first Grammy.
Definitely redemptive too.
Yeah. That was, and so that record to me just has like so many different layers, and it hit different because of it didn't go number one on the Hot 100. It went like number 5 or something like that, but it stayed on the radio for so long, and it changed the direction of music. So if you listen to music after Where Are You Now, there was no such thing as a music with a drop, with a break, with nothing in it before Where Are You Now on the radio. So after Where Are You Now, it was like everybody had a beat, and then it was like a little drop with nothing. And the radio never just played nothing.
Oh, no. We get scared when we hear nothing.
Yeah, but like, hold on, let's cut that and put a bridge or something. So it literally changed the direction of radio to this day. Like, people still make music using the Where Are You Now format. So it was that record for me was the most monumental record to me in my career.
Amazing, Poo Bear.
Man, what a career.
Yeah. Thank you so much for dropping by. You make it easy to celebrate you, bro. Easy to champion your music and you as a person. Like, whatever you have going on, whatever, I don't know if it's meditation or saging or just connection to God, but you just brought that into this room too. Because low-key we were fighting. I'm kidding. No.
No, yeah. But you gotta, in order to appreciate the love, you gotta have, that's the balance of the yin and yang. You gotta have a little tension in order to appreciate it. So those things are necessary even when they feel uncomfortable.
I'm gonna write that down.
Right?
You already wrote it.
Make a song.
No,
that was off the head right there. Yeah, tension. Yeah, we all need a little tension so you can, appreciate the ease.
Ooh, boom. Yeah. It's a bar. Hit right there. Justin.
Write it down. Somebody.
Hit us up. No, thank you so much, Poo Bear, for stopping by. Your family now. Power 106 got you. And
thank you.
Of course. Anytime you need us, bro.
Book of Nabeel is out now.
Now, go get that.
Yeah, happy birthday, and thanks for having me. I appreciate you both.
It's Power 106.
Happy birthday.